A lot of people think healing only happens in special moments, when they finally get serious, when they start the big plan, when they have more time, when life calms down enough to focus properly. But healing often begins somewhere much less dramatic than that. It begins in daily life, in the things you keep doing, in the way you move through a day, the way you eat, the way you rest, the way you shop, walk, cook, pause, play, and spend your time. That is why this matters, because ordinary daily activities quietly build healing into real life far more than most people realise. A lot of people are still looking for healing outside the life they're already living, outside the kitchen, outside the walk, outside the school run, outside the shopping trip, outside the ordinary rhythms of being a human in a real week. But if healing habits are ever going to last, they have to live there. Not in ideal conditions, in actual life. That is one of the deepest things Fit to Thrive is trying to show. Healing is not only something you add on top of life. It is something that can begin to happen through the way life is lived. One of the biggest shifts for me was realizing that daily activities were not just background tasks. They were opportunities to support the body, to reduce friction, to improve rhythm, to build movement, to create better nourishment, to restore a bit more balance inside real life. And that changed everything. Because when ordinary life starts counting, people stop feeling like they're always waiting for the right moment to begin. They can begin where they already are. The first thing to understand is that daily activities shape the body, whether you pay attention to them or not. Walking affects the body. Sitting affects the body. Cooking affects the body. How you shop affects what becomes available later. How you watch, pause, and use your attention affects the nervous system. How you structure the day affects energy, recovery, and support. That is true whether people notice it or not. So the question is not really, are daily activities shaping me? They are. The better question is, how are they shaping me? That is a much more useful place to begin. The second thing to understand is that daily activities are often where healing becomes repeatable. That matters because repeatability is everything. A walk you can repeat matters. Cooking that fits your life matters. Shopping that makes better choices easier matters. A calmer evening rhythm matters. A better way of using ordinary time matters. These things may not look dramatic, but they're repeatable. And what is repeatable starts shaping health, energy, mood, capacity, trust, the quality of our life over time. That is why daily activities matter so much. Not because they're glamorous, because they are where life is actually lived. The third thing to understand is that daily activities can either help more than they hurt or hurt more than they help. That is one of the central healing habits distinctions. Some daily patterns support healing. Some daily patterns quietly increase friction, and the difference is often not extreme. It is subtle. A little more walking, a little less sitting, a little more cooking, a little less convenience, a little more rhythm, a little less chaotic drift, a little more life that supports you, a little less life that constantly drains you. That's how direction changes, not always in a big dramatic leap, often in a quieter shift inside ordinary life. The fourth thing to understand is that daily activities are deeply human. Walking is human, cooking is human, exploring is human, carrying is human, playing is human, using your body through the day is human. That matters because a lot of people have become disconnected from the healing power of ordinary human life. They think health only counts when it is formal or intense or scheduled. But the body is responding all the time to pressure, to movement, to pace, to food, to stress, to rhythm, to recovery, to how the day is actually lived. That's why ordinary activity can quietly do so much. The fifth thing to understand is that daily activities help build the foundation for everything else. That's why healing habits become so important. Because healing habits is not trying to create a fantasy life. It's trying to help people build support into the life they already have. And once daily life starts supporting you better, more becomes possible. More energy, more steadiness, more confidence, more enjoyable days, more playful life, more ability to carry pressure well. That is the deeper logic. Ordinary daily activities quietly build healing into real life. Not all at once, but over time in ways that matter. So if you want a powerful place to begin, do not only ask what big things should change. Ask, how am I living my ordinary day? Which daily activities help me more than they hurt? Which ones quietly drain me? What small shift inside daily life would make healing easier to repeat? Those questions can change a lot, because healing is often built far more quietly than people think. And once you start seeing daily activities this way, the next layer opens up too. Because then it becomes much easier to understand why specific ordinary activities like walking can become such powerful anchors for health, clarity, and healing in real life. So watch the next video where I break down why walking is one of the most powerful healing habits most people overlook, and why it can change more than they realize.